Libra, my dear soul of balance and quiet intuition, something powerful is unfolding around you this very week. A legal truth is rising. An investigation may already be happening near your home. This isn't a rumor. It's a shift in the spiritual terrain, and you are being called, not to be judged, but to witness. To protect your energy. To listen to the silence where truth lives. You didn't find this video by accident. Here on Zodiac Whisper Tarot, we go deeper than surface-level horoscopes. We speak to the patterns behind the patterns, to the sacred messages unfolding within the cosmic blueprint of your life. And between November 21st and 27th, the universe is pointing directly to you, Libra. A gate has opened. A legal storm is gathering. And you, of all signs, are being entrusted with a rare spiritual responsibility, to stay steady while the masks around you fall. Have you felt it? That eerie, inexplicable weight pressing against your atmosphere lately? A subtle sense that someone isn't telling the full truth? That something hidden is about to burst wide open? Maybe you've been waking up at odd hours, noticing strange signs, or sensing the energy around your home shift in ways you can't quite explain. If so, trust that. That's not anxiety. That's activation. Astrologically, your ruling planet Venus is in tight conversation with Pluto and Mercury this week, exposing shadows and calling buried realities into the light. Tarot confirms this theme with the Justice card beside the Tower and the Seven of Swords, truth, upheaval, and long-hidden deception being pulled from the corners of your world. Not to punish, but to restore balance. You're not under threat, Libra. You're under divine protection. You are the scale, not the sword. And the universe is asking you now not to panic, not to retreat, but to stand still in truth and let clarity arrive without force. The one who stays rooted in grace becomes the one who transforms the storm. Take a moment now. Pause the spinning thoughts. And ask yourself, why did I click this video today? What drew me here? What truth am I quietly ready to face, even if I haven't spoken it out loud? That quiet knowing you feel in your chest, that's your soul saying, I'm ready. If this resonates, I invite you to affirm your awareness in the comments right now. Share a sacred number you've been seeing, maybe 111, 444, or 777, and say simply, I'm ready to receive the truth that belongs to me. Your comment is not just interaction, it is an energetic declaration. A signal to the universe that you are awake and anchored. And before we go further, let me take a breath with you to say thank you. Thank you for your presence here. For every like, every comment, every moment you spend supporting this sacred space. Your energy is what allows Zodiac Whisper Tarot to continue offering messages that heal, awaken, and align. So stay with me. Because what the universe is about to reveal is not only shocking, it's spiritually significant. And trust me, Libra, you'll want to hear every word of what's coming next. Shall we begin? Softness is power, Libra, and no one knows that better than you. While the world may move in chaos, and others rise and fall in bursts of noise and fire, you are the one who listens to what is not being said. And this week, the cosmos is inviting you to lean into that gift even more deeply. What's unfolding around you is not a headline, it's a spiritual movement cloaked in earthly details. And though it may not scream for your attention, it hums beneath your feet, asking you to notice, to sense, and to trust what is surfacing. The planetary conversation right now is subtle, but seismic. Venus, your ruling planet, facing Pluto, the underworld keeper of secrets, means that something hidden, long suppressed, is making its way to the surface. It's not just about gossip or scandal, it's about long unresolved energy finally moving through time to be seen. And Mercury, infused with fire, isn't just communicating facts, it's agitating the truth, urging stories to come forward, pushing words that were once held back into the light. You may feel like you're standing still while the world spins rapidly around you. That's not paralysis. That's alignment. The Justice card isn't here to punish, it's here to restore. The tower doesn't fall to destroy, it crumbles to reveal what never truly stood on solid ground. And the Seven of Swords? It speaks of illusions that no longer have the power to deceive. It's not your role to go digging for the facts. They will arrive on their own. Your only task now is to hold still long enough to receive them clearly. Perhaps you're beginning to notice odd conversations around you. Maybe a friend is suddenly distant. Maybe an old contract or legal issue resurfaces without warning. You might hear that someone who once held power in your world is suddenly facing a reckoning. These events may feel random on the surface, but they are connected in ways only the soul can understand. You are being asked not to react, but to observe. To become the space where truth unfolds safely. In these moments, it's natural to want answers, to fix things, to restore order. But sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the permission not to act. True balance doesn't mean controlling both sides, it means trusting that the scales will eventually settle where they're meant to. And the universe, through this intricate dance of planetary tension, is asking you to release your need to intervene. There's a story I remember of a woman whose name was never in the news, yet her quiet presence held her family together through a long and complicated legal ordeal. She didn't argue. She didn't plead. She simply stayed present, consistent, and calm. Years later, when the truth emerged and the situation finally unraveled, everyone remembered her silence as strength, not weakness. Libra, that's your gift. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You need only be consistent in your peace. I know it's not always easy to stay still when your sense of fairness is being stirred. But in this season, your stillness is sacred. It allows space for divine timing. It makes room for truth to echo back to those who need to hear it most. So if you're feeling called to do anything right now, let it be this: protect your space. Cleanse your home. Stay grounded in your own energy. Maybe light a candle at sunrise and simply breathe with the question, what do I need to see that's trying to show itself? Don't be afraid of what comes. The truth, even when it shakes the foundation, always arrives to heal. And remember, you are not alone in this. Even in silence, you are surrounded. Not by noise or chaos, but by unseen hands that steady you, guide you, and honor your willingness to stay upright when the world trembles. Keep holding that balance, Libra. The world needs your grace more than ever. Some energies don't announce themselves with noise. They arrive as a shift in the atmosphere, a soft pressure behind your eyes, or a subtle sense that something around you is just off. And Libra, I know you felt it. That sudden exhaustion without cause. The vivid dreams that leave a trace long after you've woken. The repeating numbers that seem to whisper when no one else is speaking. These are not random moments. They are signals, gentle nudges from the universe to slow down and pay attention. They don't demand your fear, but they do ask for your awareness. And more than anything, they are asking for your protection. When we speak of protecting your energy, we're not talking about putting up walls or living in fear of others. This is about boundaries. About honoring the sacredness of your emotional and energetic space. About choosing, moment by moment, what you allow in and what you keep out. Just as you wouldn't let strangers walk into your home uninvited, your inner world, your peace deserves that same level of care. Especially now, when legal truths and energetic shifts are swirling so close to your orbit. It begins with awareness. The heaviness you feel? That's a call to cleanse. The restlessness at night? That's a spiritual alert system nudging you to notice. To recalibrate. Sometimes, that looks like opening a window and letting fresh air move through your space. Sometimes, it's silence, choosing to mute the noise of the outside world so you can hear your own wisdom again. Even turning off your phone for an hour a day can shift everything. Not to disconnect from life, but to reconnect with yourself. There's something incredibly healing about creating a routine of sacred stillness. For some, it's lighting sage or placing sea salt in corners to absorb stagnant energy. For others, it's writing down what they're feeling even if the words don't make perfect sense. That small act of journaling begins to give form to the invisible weight you're carrying. You don't have to understand it all to begin honoring it. You just have to admit that something within you is asking for space to breathe. You may even find comfort in creating tiny rituals each morning. It could be as simple as placing your hand over your heart and repeating, "My energy is mine. I am safe to remain open and protected." These aren't just words, they are declarations. Boundaries shaped in language. Shields woven from intention. I often think of a woman I once worked with who, during a turbulent time, made a decision to start every day by standing in front of her mirror and saying, "Nothing that does not belong to me may enter." She didn't do it for show. She did it because the pressure from people around her, the emotional heaviness she couldn't explain, was starting to dim her light. And within weeks of claiming that boundary softly, consistently, her sleep improved. Her clarity returned. Her energy felt whole again. You don't need to overcomplicate this. You don't need to fix everyone or prove your worth by being everything for everyone. Your job right now is to stay rooted in your own field. And sometimes, protecting your energy means stepping away from conversations that feel heavy, people who drain you, or situations that seem to swirl with chaos no matter how much peace you bring to them. If you believe in divine timing, then you also believe that rest has its appointed hour. That pulling back is not giving up, it's listening. And if you believe, like I do, that truth always finds its way to the surface, then you don't need to carry every burden. You only need to tend to your part of the field. Give yourself permission to trust that justice is never late. It may not come when others expect it, but it always arrives exactly when your soul is ready to receive it. And in the meantime, your stillness is not inaction. It is presence. It is preparation. It is power. There are moments in life when your soul knows something before your mind can explain it. A glance that lingers too long. A tone of voice that doesn't match the words. A story that changes just enough to raise questions you can't quite ask. Libra, you are one of the rare signs gifted with a deep internal compass, one that senses imbalance before it becomes visible, one that whispers when the world shouts. You don't always act on it immediately. Sometimes you wait. You observe. You hold your silence not from weakness, but from wisdom. Because you've always known that truth doesn't require a defense. It just needs time to breathe. This week, that knowing is awakening again. The energy surrounding you isn't asking you to expose anyone, to confront or accuse. It's inviting you to hold your position like a steady flame in the wind, while the illusions begin to fall apart on their own. You don't need to chase justice. You just need to stay aligned with it. And when the time is right, truth will rise not with fireworks, but with undeniable clarity. What you've quietly felt all along will begin to reveal itself in undeniable form. Being chosen as a witness is not always glamorous. It doesn't come with applause. It comes with tension, and sometimes, with the burden of seeing too much. But Libra, this is also your divine assignment, to be the one who stays conscious when others close their eyes. To remain centered when the world around you is tilting. Not to fight the storm, but to be the stillness in its center. You may recall times when you stayed silent to keep the peace. When you sensed something was wrong, but chose grace over confrontation. And perhaps you doubted yourself, wondering if you should have spoken up, taken action, or pushed harder. But here's what I want you to remember: you were not wrong to stay still. Silence, when it comes from alignment, is not passive. It is potent. The kind of silence that bears witness is one of the highest spiritual acts, because it allows the truth to unfold naturally without force, without violence, without ego. There's something sacred about watching the truth reveal itself to those who tried to bury it. Not because you need revenge, but because your soul longs for restoration. I once heard the story of a woman who suspected for years that something wasn't right in her workplace. She said nothing, trusting her intuition, refusing to get entangled in office drama. Years later, an audit exposed deep misconduct, and the very people who dismissed her calm presence came back to her, not for answers, but for steadiness. She didn't say, "I told you so." She didn't need to. Her stillness had already done the work. In moments like these, I'm reminded of the quiet power of grace. Grace that holds space for others to awaken in their own time. Grace that doesn't rush. Grace that trusts the law of energy: what is sown will be reaped, even if you are not the one to deliver the harvest. So as this week unfolds, if you begin to see the signs around you line up, documents resurfacing, relationships shifting, conversations revealing hidden layers, remember that none of this is random. You are being asked to stay present. To stay open. To allow the truth to reach the ears it was always meant for. And in the meantime, don't underestimate the power of simply being there, clear and calm, as the fog lifts. Let others discover what you've already known. You are not here to prove a point. You are here to be the point. The balance. The one who saw through it all, and still chose to hold the light steady. Everything around you this week may feel like it's shifting, Libra, not in explosive, visible ways, but in quiet, unmistakable ripples that begin from within. This is not just another week. This is a cosmic checkpoint. The astrology of the moment, paired with the deep symbolism of the tarot, is revealing that something carefully hidden is starting to break open. Not to punish, not to shame, but to liberate the truth that's been aching to surface. The cards drawn: Justice, the Tower, and the Seven of Swords create a powerful trinity. Justice is not about blame. It's about alignment. It's a sacred rebalancing that restores what was once skewed. The Tower shows us that anything built on illusion must eventually fall, not to destroy your life, but to remove the weight that never belonged to you. And the Seven of Swords? That card has always whispered of secrets, of misalignments, of half-truths that can no longer hide when the light arrives. Together, these cards are not predicting your fall, Libra. They're confirming your rise, your elevation through clarity. Astrologically, this is amplified by Neptune's retrograde, dissolving fantasies, illusions, and false promises. Neptune, when it moves backward, acts like a fog lifting from the landscape of your life. What once seemed safe but uneasy, what once looked beautiful but felt hollow, begins to reveal its true form. And you, ruled by balance and clarity, are being offered a front row seat, not to the collapse but to the reveal. As the moon moves through your own sign midweek, it adds an emotional lens to this awakening. You're not just seeing with your eyes. You're sensing with your entire being. You may wake up in the middle of the night with a gut feeling. You may be drawn to clean, reorganize, or review documents you haven't touched in months. These nudges are not distractions. They are divine data points, messages your soul has been storing, waiting for this exact week to speak. And then there's the numbers. If you've been noticing 7s or 11s repeating in your Lithian receipts, clocks, license plates, it's not random. These numbers, in the language of numerology, signal spiritual awakening and divine alignment. 7 invites you into introspection and soul truth. 11 is a gateway, an opening between what is hidden and what is meant to be revealed. Seeing 1111 is a reminder, you are not alone in this. You are seen. You are supported. Even if the world around you feels uncertain, the path beneath your feet is sacred and guided. I often think about the phrase, faith doesn't always move the mountain, but it gives you the strength to keep walking. In weeks like this, where energy can feel heavy and conversations around you might carry unexpected tension or revelation, your faith in yourself, in your alignment, in a greater order beyond the surface is your greatest companion. You don't need to understand every detail yet. You just need to stay close to your knowing. If you feel overwhelmed, pause. Take a step back from the noise. Turn down the volume of the world so you can hear the gentle frequency of what's real. Maybe that means taking a break from the screen. Maybe that means journaling, even if it's just one line. Maybe it means standing in your room, hand over heart, and saying softly, I don't have to know everything. I just have to stay open to what's true. This is not the week to chase answers. It is the week to witness what wants to be known. You've done the work of staying present. You've stayed rooted when others drifted. And now the universe is saying, it's time. Trust that what falls away was never meant to stay. And what reveals itself now is part of your healing, not your harm. Stay present, Libra. Stay aligned. You are ready. Sometimes strength doesn't look like a breakthrough. Sometimes it looks like quietly choosing not to collapse. Libra, you're entering a week where subtle choices will create powerful shifts. This isn't about dramatic endings or grand gestures, it's about alignment. About listening deeply and moving gently, even if the world around you feels heavy or loud. You don't need things to fall apart to know it's time to shift. Often, The most profound transformation happens when you silently step away from what's no longer whole, and walk toward the space that allows your soul to breathe again. In matters of love, this might mean noticing how someone shows up or doesn't. You don't need to chase answers when someone grows distant. Energy doesn't lie. Instead of demanding clarity or forcing closeness, just observe. Let the silence tell you what the words haven't. Sometimes love reveals itself in consistency, not in intensity. If something feels off, trust that. You're not meant to convince anyone to choose you. You're meant to hold space for what's mutual, grounded, and growing naturally. At work, if you sense unrest or shifting dynamics, trust that, too. Not to panic. Not to quit. But to prepare. Write down what you're noticing. Is there a pattern? An energy change? Has communication shifted? Quiet awareness is your greatest tool right now. You don't need to sound alarms. You just need to listen. And if needed, start sketching out a backup plan, not from fear, but from self-respect. Feeling the need for security isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And this is the week where wisdom becomes your compass. Financially, this is not the time for bold leaps. You may feel the urge to act quickly to escape discomfort, but impulsive decisions made under pressure can become regret. Let this week be one of observation, not initiation. If you've been considering a major purchase or legal commitment, such as a contract or investment, delay it if you can. Give yourself the grace of more clarity. Remember, the right decisions feel like peace, not pressure. Your body, too, is speaking to you now. If you've been feeling more tired than usual, more anxious, or more reactive to noise or caffeine, listen to those signals. This is your nervous system asking for nourishment and rest. Try reducing stimulants like coffee this week and incorporate foods that calm the body: greens, seeds, bananas, magnesium-rich staples that ground your energy. Just one small shift in your physical care can ripple into every other part of your life. Don't underestimate the quiet power of a morning ritual. Even 7 minutes of intentional silence, eyes closed, breath steady, and a simple phrase like, "I am held, I am guided, I am enough," can anchor your entire day. One story I often think about is of a woman who, during a deeply chaotic season of her life, made one quiet commitment. She would sit by her window for 5 minutes each morning with her hand on her heart. No phones, no noise. Just her and the light. She didn't pray loudly. She didn't demand change. She simply whispered, "Show me what I need to see today." And slowly, things began to shift, not outside of her, but inside. Her intuition sharpened. Her sense of self deepened. And when the time came to make real changes, she didn't feel confused, she felt ready. That's what this week is offering you, Libra. Not a storm. A stillness. A subtle invitation to pause before you pivot. To act from clarity, not chaos. Your balance isn't passive. It's powerful. And sometimes the most radical thing you can do is breathe, hold back from reacting, and allow the deeper truth to unfold without rushing it. So move gently this week, but don't mistake that for weakness. Your quiet shifts are creating strong roots. Let them grow. Libra, if you've made it this far, I want you to pause for a moment, not to reflect on what's broken, but to recognize everything that is being rebuilt within you right now. You haven't been lost. You've been listening. You haven't been passive. You've been preparing. And while others may have underestimated the quiet way you carry strength, the universe never has. You were never here to prove your worth. You were here to remember it. This week's energy wasn't about chaos, it was about clarity. It was about showing you, not through noise or drama, but through small and undeniable truths, just how deeply protected and guided you are. You weren't called to this reading to be saved. You were called to be reminded. You are the balance, not the battlefield. And that's exactly why the truth is choosing to rise through you. Maybe you've felt like your patience has gone unnoticed. Maybe you've wondered if staying quiet in moments of injustice made you weak. But now you know, your silence wasn't emptiness, it was integrity. And when the world begins to unravel, it will be souls like yours who hold the line between reaction and restoration. You are not here to scream into the storm. You are here to anchor the calm that comes after it. So I ask you now, what would shift in your life if you truly believe that the truth doesn't need you to chase it, only to hold space for it? How would you walk through your day if you trusted that justice was already unfolding in unseen ways? What would it feel like to stop fighting for peace and start embodying it? You've received more than predictions in this message, you've been given gentle instructions. Protect your energy. Make space for stillness. Choose your words with wisdom and your boundaries with love. Let go of proving and lean into knowing. And above all, remember, your life does not require anyone's permission to bloom in its own time. If this reading has resonated with your soul, I invite you now to affirm it in the comments. Write the words, I am light. I am justice. I am ready for truth. Let that be your offering, not just to the universe but to the version of you that's been waiting to be claimed. And if this space has felt like home, if this message met you exactly where you are, please don't leave without helping it reach someone else. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone you love. Every act of support helps us shine this quiet light a little further into the world. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting your intuition. And thank you for being part of the soul family here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot, where truth is never forced, only revealed. In stillness, and in time.